Welcome in everyone. Congrats to Crazy on first and Fantasy on second. Sorry about it. That I was sitting here watching Teal Giraffe and then I was like, crap, I'm supposed to be streaming right now. But welcome in. I did a Discord channel for Book After Dark so that people could join and talk in there. If you wanted to talk that way, to make it a little bit easier than maybe like typing back and forth because of the time delay. It's not long, but sometimes people. Welcome in, Trell, and congrats on third. Um, but yes, so this past week I've been getting ready pre-order wise to go to a book signing next month. So I did a couple like pre-orders and went through and looked at authors that I might like that are going to be at this signing. Um, there were a couple that I didn't pre-order from, even though I wanted to because of the way their pre-orders were set up. Um, so I'll just wait and hope I can snag some at the event. I mean, they usually have a fair amount of books with them because that's what people are going for. Some people are new, so they don't pre-order because it's the first time and you don't think about those things. But I had a plan to be all like set up and then I forgot. So yeah, I had a plan. As you can tell, it didn't work. But yes. Uh I believe I set up the book the voice chat right where you can kind of like just pop into it. I don't think I like set anything on it. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. Um, but there's about, I don't know, 100 authors coming to this signing. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 25, 28, 30, 33, 36, 39, 40. Okay, maybe not 100, but like 60 or 70. There's a lot. Um, I'm a little sad because one of my favorite authors that's been there at the last couple ones of this particular signing won't be there this year, but she's Australian and there's a lot of back and forth with um coming into the country and passports and everything. So I understand why she isn't coming, but um so I pre-ordered from like 4 or 5 authors and then the rest I'm just going to check out while I'm there. But I was teasing Fantasy that she can come with next year if she wants because she'll be 18. She'll just have to have her own money to buy her books. Um, but oh, it says I unlock the need heal emote. Participate in a shared chat stream to get the second half. Well, that'll happen later this week when I stream with Garrett. Let's see what the emote looks like. I'm assuming it's in like the choo choo train one. I don't know what is up. It keeps changing the way. No, those are hype train ones. Unlocked. So it looks like this, and I guess when you do a shared chat, then you get like the other half of that. What did you do now? What is wonky on my screen? I think it's probably Bongo. There he is. There's my kitty, my Bongo cat. I don't know why it's got like, okay, there, it went away now. But yes. So the idea is for like people to come in and we talk about different books we like to read. Um, I read two of the books, or two of the books in the series that Steele recommended or had been recommending, and I was just like, I hadn't gotten to them yet. So I read the first and second one.
I'd say go to the right of the mountain.
Which are, it's called The Monsters of Fairy, and the first one is In the Claws of the Raven, or the first one is Captured by the Fabies, and the second one is In the Claws of the Raven Prince. And they were interesting. A little more, I want to say, almost sappy than what I thought they would be. Like the males in the books are definitely monsters, like claws, fangs, whole 9 yards. But they've been like almost outcast by everybody who, in theory, should love them because they are family, or at least accept them because they're family, and like kind of used and abused because of it. So that was kind of like not something I was expecting in them. But they were good books, and I plan to read more in the series. But one of my favorite authors, T.S. Joyce, had 2 new books come out, and they're a lot shorter. So I quick went to read them. I read one of them, and I'm on the second one. So, one of the, well, I guess they were both the third book in 2 different series she's writing. But yeah, and I've been steadily working on the cross stitch. I'm at the annoying part where you have to do the back stitching, and so I keep like starting and stopping instead of just finishing it. And I think this one will be easier, the one on this side, because it's a lighter color. And this one, sometimes it's like hard to find where to put it because it's such dark colors, and then black on, black thread on top. And I picked up the hoop to finish it, because this one will, instead of being put in a picture frame or whatever, you put it in the hoop to finish it. So I'll be working on that. But does anybody have any particulars, like questions they want to ask or talk about books they like? I am but the book signing I'm going to next month is Authors Rocking Little Rock. It's the 17th, no, not, that's the 21st of next month. The concert I want to go to is the 17th of next month. Lots of things next month.
All right, we're ready to continue on.
But all the things. But so that's kind of what I've been doing since last month. I thought maybe the Discord chat would be easier for people if they wanted to talk. But if you don't, that's fine. Typing here is a good thing too. I'm trying to remember what tags I put on last month's. I should have wrote them down. I might have to check on YouTube. Because I thought it was like book talk and book chat and something else. I don't remember. But then when I was doing the thing today, I couldn't remember what the tags were. There it is. It has 2 views on YouTube. Nope, no sound, please. Doesn't really have tags. Why do I bother putting those tags in if you guys don't share the tags on YouTube? That's annoying. I've never really looked at it before. Oh, that's what it is. That's what they mean by transcript. But yeah, I don't know what tags I put on it, so, and apparently YouTube doesn't share it. But I know last time I I kept just kind of like a running tab on like all the authors we talked about, and then put them in Discord afterwards, like in the group. And I can't find my Discord now.
All right.
There it is. But yeah, so I kind of kept like a running tally of any author we talked about, and then put like either the name of the series or the book, or like if it was just an author in general, like what kind of genres they write.
Ooh, tier 5, eh?
So I don't know if that helped anybody or if anybody liked that or not, but I did that.
Behind you, Trail.
So like I said, I have no real plan because I was hoping it would be more community driven, like with people coming in and chatting. So, or typing in chat what books they liked and whatnot. But yeah, here we are. Chapstick. But yeah, so that was kind of the plan. I don't know if you guys would rather it be like pick a like a genre or a theme and then talk about that, and we could deviate from that as well, but like it would be like a starting point, or if just kind of an all out talk about whatever.
Okay.
If you prefer that. But I read a fair amount from, clean to really smutty, from YA on and on. So there are options for, and there's like options for recommendations, but there are also so many different authors and books out there that, like, there's always room for recommendations. But hubby took me to the bookstore for Valentine's Day, even though we already exchanged, like, got gifts to each other. And I was like, I kind of want stuff, but also I'm going to be going to the book signing next month, and so I feel bad, like, spending money now and then, because I'll spend way too much there. But yeah, that is what I've been doing. No, I haven't read Dungeon Carl, but that's on my list next. Yeah, Carl. So Dungeon Crawler Carl. Let me look. Dungeon Crawler Carl. First of all, I picked it up because it was funny. Like, the title is funny. But then we read the like the back and the description. I don't know why it took me to the third book.
It's about time to throw down motorcycles for more. Oh, he dropped a loot bag.
I don't think this is the right one. Oh, it is the right one. It's just a different cover. It says, "The apocalypse will be televised. Welcome to the first book in the wildly popular and addictive Dungeon Carl series by Matt Dinniman, now with bonus material." But it says, you know what's worse than breaking up with your girlfriend? Being stuck with her prize-winning show cat. And you know what's worse than that? an alien invasion, the destruction of all manned structures on Earth, and the systematic exploitation of all the survivors for a sadistic intergalactic game show. That's what. Join Coast Guard vet, of course he's a coastie, Carl, and his ex-girlfriend's cat, Princess Donut, as they try to survive the end of the world, or just get to the next level. In a video game like trap-filled fantasy dungeon, a dungeon that's actually the set of a reality television show with countless viewers across the galaxy. Exploding
Run,
goblins,
run away, run away.
magical potions, deadly drug-dealing llamas. Llamas are my favorite. Drug-dealing llamas. This isn't your ordinary game show. Welcome, Crawler. Welcome to the dungeon. Survival is optional. Keep the viewers entertained. Or not. And apparently this version includes a bonus story backstage at the Pineapple Cabaret, but I don't know if my version does. But I was like, oh my god, that is hilarious, like blurb. Now I have to read it. So it is on no. Yeah, like Princess Donut. You know Princess Donut is not helping but throwing out all the sass. Like, I cannot believe you, Carl. I cannot believe I'm stuck with you. Right? So it is on my list to read next. But I used to read like a lot during the day, but I don't as much anymore. So, it's reading when I should be sleeping with my tablet. And you can't do that with a real book. So, because the pages don't glow in the dark, unfortunately. I vote that all pages should be black with glow in the dark ink, so we can read at night. But I'm not sure how you would charge the glow in the dark ink, so.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that would work too. Sorry, Well, because ink typically has to be charged, to work. So I was like, I don't know. Sorry, I was checking something.
I'm ready now.
So now I have to get back where I was. There we go. But yeah, so that was kind of, I don't know where I was going with that anymore. But yeah, so a lot of the books I pre-ordered were like continuations of series I already have from them. Like, there's a collection of books, two separate ones. One is for a signing in Texas that started a couple years ago. They asked every author to write an MC chapter that was going to be there, and so they just kind of kept going on. So I've been trying to collect all the books in that collection, and then there's another collection like that called the Royal Bastards MC, and I've been trying to collect all the books in that, but there are a crazy amount, so I don't think I'll ever actually do it unless I sit down and like get on Amazon and order them. But a side note, I did order more Lego minifigs, and they came in today, so we have the newest sets of minifigs to open, and I forgot to turn that redeem back on, so let's find that and do that while I'm thinking about it. Nope, that's not it. It is viewer rewards, channel perks, channel, go away. I didn't delete it, I just turned it off. There it is. Turn it back on. But yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I
Like
can
the
look
world.
because it was like a month ago, so I don't think I can. Nope, the furthest back I can watch is like the end of January, beginning of February. So
There's 40 dukes in this register.
I will have to write down whatever ones I choose so that I can remember to use them every month. But so
There's green on the outside of boxes. My dog.
I'm horrible at this. Um, uh, I read, like I said, a range of books. So I get I'm what I consider a mood reader. I have to be in the mood for that type of book. So I'll sorry, I thought the music stopped playing for a second. I'll read like one type of book, whether it's Shifters, MC, Mafia, for a while, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm not into this anymore, and then I'll switch and I'll read something else. Or like I'll finish a book and I'll go through because on like the Stuff Your Kindle days, I'll get a bunch of books for free. And then I'll go through and I'm like, I should read some of these that are on my Kindle before I buy another one, which is like a joke because there's like 5,000 books on my Kindle. And then I'll sit there and like go through and I'm like, no, I don't feel like that. No, I don't feel like that. Oh, this one seems great. But like, so I don't know, it's like mood reading. And then I'll want to read like everything by that author. But that's a whole nother issue. Um, but yeah, I don't know if anybody else is like that or if you kind of stick with the same thing. But I find that a lot of people are mood readers or say they're mood readers. That's how they would describe themselves. I just kind of ping pong all over the place. But yeah. Let me open. Nope, that is not what I want. It should be in that section, but it's not. I feel like, I don't know, years and years ago, there used to be a lot more like giveaways when you would uh, like authors would do a lot of giveaways like when their book came out and stuff. And I guess that's like anything else, it was a fad that came and kind of went, which I imagine the authors might be slightly glad about because they're not spending as much or giving away as much because they don't really make much. You have to be like pretty big to like really earn a living doing writing books. Most of them have day jobs, or at least most of the authors I read have day jobs. But Goodreads still does giveaways. Sometimes they're for arcs, like you get the arc book, and sometimes they're just like, hey, I'm releasing a new book to kind of get people to want to read it. But it's a kind of give and take. Um, it's really fun when you do win because you're like, yay! But I never really like thought about it if I didn't because it was like on Goodreads, so it wasn't anything. And I figure if you enter 1,000 giveaways, you're bound to win something. That's how I always looked at it because I would enter like every one I came across because you can't win if you don't enter. So, um, yeah. Um, Kevin in a stream last week mentioned he's like, you're missing a merchandise. You should make bookmarks. So I think probably I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe not. We'll see. But the idea is to like on a second half of a stream, instead of playing a game or doing a craft, um, we would do like make a digital art. So maybe stickers or bookmarks, things to add. I have lots of sassy things to say, but I don't know that anybody would want that on a sticker. But yeah. So there's that. Um, we'll work on that soon-ish. But I'm only going to have one build stream this week because my stream on Thursday is going to be a co-stream with Carrot. And we're going to be making food kitties. Like, there's a donut kitty and a fried shrimp kitty and a hamburger and a hot dog kitty and this kitty that looks like loaf cake. I forget what the cake is called, but like you make it real thin and then you roll it and it turns into like a log. But it's a kitty like that. So maybe tomorrow? I don't know. I'm so bad at this. Because this requires me to actually like talk, unlike when I do Lego and I just ramble aimlessly about whatever. But there's that. So I read a lot of shifters. Dragons are fun. There's a lot of dragon talk. And I think that's because, like, when people think of, like, monsters, that's, like, the first thing. But then there's, like, krakens and gargoyles and an endless supply. Okay, so that's why I love this author, T.S. Joyce. She, World Patty Cake Competitions. That was last month, Petey. This month, it's the, what do they call them? Hobby horse races. It's hobby horse races this month. Welcome in, Dusa. But T.S. Joyce writes funny, steamy, like just, I always laugh, hilarious every time I read her books. They have serious moments too, but like she has done every kind of shifter you can imagine. Welcome in, Dusa. We love Dusa. She's fabulous, and we need to schedule another co-stream doing I don't know what. But something. I know you've inspired me. Now I want to make stickers. I don't want to. Dusa sent me stickers for being in a co-stream with her, and they're fabulous, and now I want to make stickers too. Kevin told me I need to make bookmarks. That he would totally buy a bookmark from me. But she has done every kind of shifter. Like the current book I'm reading by her is about this it's called The Woodpecker Inn. And every year for Valentine's, they throw an un-Valentine's event. The idea is that for it to be singles who have no desire to be in a relationship. Right? Like, I was like, I guess I could. I always joke that it's I love when t-shirts and stuff, they have, when I think about you, I touch my, and it's a bookshelf. I touch my shelf. You know, you make them think of their books. Or there's a one where it's like call them quitter strips. Bookmarks or quitter strips because you should just read the whole book in one sitting. But so the current book, like I said, this girl is there to take part in the un-Valentine's event because she hates Valentine's, and because she's been screwed over by one too many men, and she's a shifter, but her shifter form is not something exciting. She's a 9-pound house cat. And the other girl from book 2 who was there for an Valentine's event was a hamster. And the girl from the first book was an armadillo. But she's had like grizzly bears, Kodiak bears, panthers, lions, gorillas, hogs, bulls, cows, like every animal you could imagine that could be a shifter, or any animal you could imagine, she's made them a shifter. There were crocodiles once, a flying squirrel shifter. But yeah, so the 9-pound house cat also hates rodents, so she's really freaked out that the other girl on the excursion is a hamster. Even though she's not in her shifted form, she's a human, just walking around. Does Madam want the blanket again?
Can you hear me?
So ever since I got this heated blanket, the cat is like, yes, I must sit on your lap and be covered in the blanket. And she gets real sassy when you don't let her in there. Yeah, is that the stuff? She's like, yes, thank you, pet. Thank you, human. The one from last month was, let me bring it up. I put it in Discord. I tried to put like a list. So let me go back up and see if I wrote it in there. If not, I have my, oh, I didn't put it in the list I did from last month. That's right. I have my Goodreads open. I just got to go to the right.
Can't turn me down. She'll turn me down.
The right part of Discord. Um, what? How are you?
All right.
Oh, I see how it is. Welcome in, Obtuse. I hope you're having a good evening as well. Sorry, my
Yippers.
Goodreads got reorganized because I was looking for something else. So I changed
I'm more than
like the way it would show the listings, and now I gotta wait for it to go back to the way it should be.
I'm 15.
Sorry, Miss Kitty Cat is on my lap. Well, not on my lap, on my desk. It is called Their Vampire Queen
I'm 3 over covered.
by. Let me type out her name. No nippies. I need my keyboard kitty. Jolie Sue Burkhart is the name of the author, but it's Their Vampire Queen. Let me find the first one, and then I'll put the. Or I guess I can do it like this for puppy pasta. That's like the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like random. I must have got it on a like stuff your Kindle day.
Well,
Or saw it free somewhere because I already had it. And I typically don't buy something and then let it sit on my like pay money and let it sit. Most of the ones that sit for a while are because I got them on like a stuff your Kindle day, and I was like, that blurb seems good, and I throw it in the cart. But I must have gotten it that way. I had like the first book and books 1 through 3, like 1 through 3 like in a book box by itself, and then also just book 1. So I must have got them at like different times or somehow. I don't know. But it was a really good series. I really liked it. But also you have to be acknowledged that there's lots of sex and blood orgies happening during the course of the series. I don't know about what other series she writes. I haven't looked at any others. Let's see, more books by her. Because there's the main series, and then there's like she goes on and writes like smaller novella length ones about other vampire queens she runs into during the series. Yeah, like it's, I mean, oh god, I have tons of vampire series I can give you. My books.
All right, we ready?
Vampires are not something I'm short on. A poor Ringbolt, he messaged me a little while, like a couple weeks ago, and asked if I had read anything good, and I was in the middle of reading that series. I was like, I'm reading about vampires, but I don't know if you want to read this vampire series. I can recommend other vampire series to you, but I don't know if you want one that has blood orgies. Like, I just don't know if that's what you're looking for. Um,
I looked at two book
so
piles.
if you like the cozy murder mystery type ones, um, there's a series by an author I really like, Dahlia Donovan. It's called The Skeleton Crew, and all like the author herself is autistic, and so a lot of her characters fall somewhere on the spectrum, or they're like asexual, or it's a lot of male or female. Um, but the Skeleton Crew is like a cozy murder mystery series, and the main character is an autistic gay vampire who lives in a little like Scottish seaside town with like everybody else in the town is supernatural too. And her girlfriend lives in a double decker bus that she turned into a food truck, and she sells tacos. It's a cute series though. Um Another author I like, Annie Anderson, she wrote a series called Severed Flames. It's got vampires in it. But there's just so many different vampire series. Like vampires are they go across a lot. Katie Roberts writes a hers are I don't want to say always steamy, but a lot of her books are steamy. It's called Bloodlines, and essentially the main girl in the series, um, she's fairly young, like in her early 20s, but her family are vampire hunters, right? Like vampires are bad, they hunt people, they eat people, they're just bad. And she's out like tracking this one vampire, and she wound up getting attacked by a different group of vampires, and the guy she was tracking winds up saving her. And he takes her back to his place with his other vampire friends, like his vampire family. And they fix her up, and she realizes that not all vampires are like that. And so now she like is looking at her family in like a whole different way, because they're like, no, all vampires are like this, like there can be no, you know no difference, they're just bad, right? Bloodthirsty idiots. But so that one's interesting. I've only read the first one, but I have a couple more in the series. I had bought them because I love Katie Roberts, so I always like what she writes. So I knew that I would like these two. I have like I guess if I had ever run across something that she wrote that I didn't like, I'd be more hesitant to just buy without, or like buy a bunch in the series before reading just the first one. But I every book I picked up and read by her I've liked, so I don't really worry about it.
I'm also maxed on Tool
Author Carrie Ann Ryan writes. She writes a lot of shifters, and well, she writes some without shifters too. I don't know. She writes like a broad range of things, but she's got a shifter series that also has vampires in it. It's called well, she's got several series. So like one is the Aspen Pack, and there's a different pack name, but the vampires kind of float in and out. But in that one, all the vampires are like trying to kill all the shifters because there can only be one type of supernatural. I don't know what their real reasoning behind it is, um but Annie Anderson, there's vampires and stuff in a lot of her series. um Sorry, I'm trying to like I read a book and I don't remember what it's called. And then I'm like, oh yeah, if I'm gonna tell somebody about it, I should remember what it's called.
Gotta repair it. Army's not here.
Oh, that way, but that was like a one-off for vampires.
Yeah, I like how you
Sorry,
Right,
I'm trying to
right,
go
right,
through
vehicle.
and because some of them they'll be like a series will be going for a while,
Oh, I
and
saw
then
it
one
before
book in the series will kind of have vampires talked about just in that one, and then like not again. So it's like one off in the series. But um man, a lot of my books are by Annie Anderson. Um she writes a lot of paranormal. But she wrote two kind of in conjunction with each other. They were different series. Like one was called Grave Talker, where the girl I forget what exactly I mean like the paranormal name is Grave Talker. Essentially she can talk to the dead. Um like and she's a cop. So it makes solving, investigations a little easier when you can talk to the deceased. Um
Yeah,
but then she wrote another series, like I said, in conjunction. They were releasing like right near each other. Um, and the girl wakes up and like crawls out of her own grave and realizes that her family is dead, and now she's this like supernatural entity. And for a while, she just goes around like it's soul something. Let me see if I can look it up by just looking up the author and then her series. Soul Reader. That's what the other series is, and that's what the other girl is. So essentially, when people are doing bad things, right? Like she can read how dark their soul is, all this like basically stains on their soul, and if they're really bad, she takes them out. But as the series goes along, it turns out that these girls are actually sisters, and their dad is like a demigod who's been buried underneath the earth for a really long time. But the series winds up connecting, but they're both really good. But the girl who's the soul reader, um, she winds up being part of this like supernatural task force, and there's a vampire who winds up being her boyfriend. But then there's why is my brain not working? Um, oh, they revive people. Now my brain is fried. But like each person in this task force of types has a different type of ability. Um so that's I mean I like that one, but I like all Annie Anderson's books. She writes a couple that aren't paranormal, but for the main part, almost all of her books are paranormal. Um but for those of you who have come in since we started, I did open a Discord channel, like a voice channel. If you want to join the voice channel so it's easier to talk, or you could just stay typing in chat, either way, but I just figured I'd let people know. If you do the exclamation point Discord, you can find the Discord and join it. But she's written, I mean, a ton of books. Her books have wraiths and witches and all kinds of stuff in it. Thank you, Crazy. So she's a really good author if you like any kind of paranormal, supernatural bent on things. And she's written like one-offs that are like part of other collections, which is a thing I've noticed in the last couple years. They'll have like one author write one book, another author write another book, and they all have like a central theme, but the author writes their own characters and connects it, which is kind of cool. There's a what do they call it, the first responders police type one that is done that's kind of interesting. So all these different first responder type things are connected, or they focus on a central area, but each author writes their own spin on it. So
finish 2 more quests this week. I'll be employee of the month.
Like one of the authors writes like a second chance for people getting out of prison. They are search and rescue kind of a deal. And they work with like local firefighters and police and help them find people who get lost in the woods or whatever. But she writes all the books in that series, but the series itself is part of a collection, and each author writes their own spin on it. Like one person writes the fire department, another writes state police, another writes local police. So it's really interesting. And the same author who writes that second chance for the people who've been in prison writes another series where the crimes or the book she writes are based on an actual crime that happened. So in the beginning of the book, like before the book really starts, she'll give you a rundown on the actual crime that happened. And then her book ties in around that crime somehow. They're always really good, and it's kind of interesting to see where she takes this. So it's I like it. Deandra Hall is the one who writes those. And she writes often what is considered in the book world later in life romances. So the characters are some 30s, 40s, 50s, and they're finding romance again, or for the first time, which is I like it because you don't have to only find your love when you're 19 and trying to save the world, apparently, because only a teenager can save the world when an apocalypse is happening. We're all doomed. If that is actually true. Have you seen these teenagers? I love how, like, right, like, it's always a teenager saving the world when the apocalypse happens. Right, they're not surviving. They're too soft for that business. Not all of them, but a great number of them.
Yeah, I got 30 seconds.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at my stuff and I'm like, wow, I read a lot of paranormal supernatural, which I kind of already knew, but seeing the numbers next to it changes things. You're like, wow, that's a lot. But yes, if anybody has any recommendations or authors they want to talk about that they like, feel free to chime in. Or if you want recommendations for certain things. I read a lot of Mafia. And there's only like, I feel like there's really like only a couple takes on the Mafia. Either it's like hardcore, have to get back at my enemy, or yes, I bought her at an auction, but it's okay because I love her now. He keeps her in a cage for a while, but she really likes it, even though she acts like she doesn't. And then, you know, I took your daughter as payment for a debt. There's really only a couple ways that Mafia books go, but they're always great because it's that journey it takes. Even though you know that's kind of like the vein it's going to run in, it still can be totally different than anything you've read before because the story still has to go somewhere, right? Like the characters suck you in and you're like, man, I know this would be a really scary life to live, but please let me join in. I would live here in this world. I forgot to create a lobby on Bongo Cat. Not that the real cat is gonna let me get to my keyboard, but... Dusa, did you see the update for Bongo Cat? We now are having a, There was a free thing for Valentine's, and then they've started the Year of the Horse lunar thing. I may pay the $10 so that I get the other parts like there was for Christmas. This is what I got today, this little sparkler fireworks. Yeah, because I updated it, and then at like 1 o'clock they did another update. So I got the Valentine's update too. It's this little pink kitty with a rose in its mouth and heart sunglasses. But
Oh,
they
there's a whole
also
somebody
started
put the
this,
post on.
and they have fireworks. You get like 20 fireworks. I'm gonna totally waste them because I just like them.
Didn't put Philgo post on.
But yeah, so yeah, I was like, it's only $10. I may have to pay $10 to get. I am touching you. I'm sorry, Kippy, but you're on my desk and you're there and you're so soft and I just want to touch you. And the cat's like, no, just the hot blanket. You don't get to touch. Yeah. I have mixed feelings about the enemies to lovers. I don't like a lot of angst. I get bored and frustrated, I guess, with the some of the angst. I'm like, really, if you two would just talk to each other, it would be cleared up. But because nobody will talk to each other, we spend 150 pages with you fighting and 50 pages with the hot and heavy. So I have mixed feelings about the enemies to lovers. I do like the fake romance ones though, because like the fake fiance, because you know they're going to end up together. In all this having to pretend that he's my boyfriend or my fiance, they're going to develop real feelings, because that's how books go. So I know it's going to end with them together, but I still love the journey. Because, you know, who knows how they're going to actually get there to the end. And I do love like the 40-page Mountain Man romances, and I don't care what that says about me. They're just smut, but that's okay. He saves her in a winter storm. And then they're stranded together.
Like the empty water jar.
I just don't care what it says about me that I like them. They're fun to read though. Especially like if you've been reading like really long ones, it's nice to have that like little quick breakup between things. I don't know if there are any book signings near you. I assume they are because I think there's a big one in Tennessee, but I think it's in like Fort Knox.
Oh, so you mean Knoxville?
Yeah, Knoxville, sorry. My brain is all over the same. I want to say I see it often, and then I always look at it because sometimes you don't know where it is until like you click into the thing and read more because like the little blurby picture doesn't, it only shows so much. But I want to say there's a big one because I always look at it and then I always go, oh, duh, you know that one's not near you, but I still click on it. I don't know. I'll have to try to find it. But there are lots of book signings near a lot of people. There's one I want to go to. It's in like Peoria, Illinois, which you're like, what could possibly be there? But the book signing takes place on like a riverboat. Like the paddle riverboat. And so it goes around the little area and you're on it while the book signing is happening, which is kind of cool. I want to go at least once. called like Readers on the River. Since I went to a ton when we lived in Virginia, there were tons of book signings because we were pretty close to a lot of different areas. And even when we lived in Nebraska, I went to a ton of different ones. There's not as many here unless I'd be willing to like drive and stay overnight. Which before I had my friend who went to them with me, and now my faux sister likes them too, but she can't always go due to finances, which I totally understand. But I need a new book friend who can come with me to events. You have to have money to go. You can look. Yeah, I made the joke. So Fantasy Beats is my daughter, and I made the joke she can go next year because she'll be 18. And then I won't get the weird look for the penis gifts I take while I have my child there. Because there's always penis gifts. We got penis lollipops and penis whistles at the one, and straws, penis straws. The one lady was there, or the one author was there, and her husband was with her for the first time, and he was like, "Why is there so much penis stuff everywhere?" And we're like, because you're at a book signing, and most of the books written here are smutty books, so why wouldn't there be penis gifts? I got a book, or I got a cup that has little penises all over it, and I love it. I may use it in my stream tomorrow. But I started late, so I'm sorry. We're going to go into ads soon. I don't know. Do you guys are you more ebook, or do you like a book you can actually hold? I do both. But I can't do audiobooks because I will tune them out at some point. Like 2 hours later, I will realize I have not been listening to what is happening in my ears, and then I don't know what's gone on. And I won't know exactly where I dropped out. But I do a lot of ebook just because it's easier to take my tablet with. But I have what I love, shelf trophies is what I call them. And I do read my paperbacks that I get signed, but I am very gentle with my books, so a lot of them don't even look like they've been read. You do all three? I mean, it all counts to me, whether you're listening to an audiobook, reading an e-reader, reading a physical book. Depending on how big the book is, hardbacks like way too much. But even sometimes, like some of the paperbacks that are really thick, I'm like, this book weighs a ton. I don't know what to do with this. Like, you can't really hold it. I have a couple books that I don't know if I'll ever actually read. So, I went to book signings, and they had, like, anthologies. You know? And I bought them because I was like, ooh, I love this. And now I look at them on my shelf and I'm like, you're this freaking thick. How am I ever going to hold you and read? Like, so I don't know if I'll ever actually read them. But they're shelf trophies and I do love them. What I really need is to move the ottoman back out into the living room and for my faux sister-in-law to take the little kid couch to their new house they just got like last week. And then I can put more shelving over there, and I can move some of my Legos from the living room into here so I can actually use my bookshelves for books instead of Legos. I have like the bookshelves from Target, and I do wish there was a way to buy like an extra shelf. It comes with 4, but I feel like 5 could fit in it much better because you're left with like one space that's huge. So I just turn books sideways and stack them on top. But I feel like I could fit more on them if I could just put another shelf in. I have thought about buying, they have the Like if you go to Home Depot, whatever, they have like
Maddie, do you still need shotgun?
the
weekly?
shelves there, and you just cut them to the right length. About buying one of
Get your
those and like
automatic.
sticking them in, and giving myself an extra shelf. Like the one time we moved, one of them didn't survive the move, so I just saved the
Oh,
shelves
go ahead and read them to you, Max.
and had them like stuck them in other bookshelves I have, because the kids each have one, and then I have like 4. So, but I don't want to buy all new bookshelves because they are bookshelves that work. I just wish they had one more shelf. So sometimes I will look at like Goodwill and stuff and be like, if it's cheap, I will buy the whole bookshelf and then only keep the shelves. But you got, some of you may have missed it as the ads came on at the same time. Do you do ebook, audio, paperback / hardback? I don't do audiobooks because I will stop paying attention to what they're saying at some point. But I do like count them as reading. Like you're getting the book. Sometimes you don't have enough time in your day to like sit down and read, but you can listen to it. So if you listen to it while you do the dishes or while you drive the kids to school or whatever, it all counts. You're still enjoying the book. And I know like AI has really started to take its toll. Like one author is like, this is part of how the writing industry is going to evolve, so just accept it and use AI in your book. And I'm like, I don't really want my book to be written by AI. You know, a personal preference. Like I guess to some extent, if you're like, how do I word this better is one thing, but like not, can you write 3 chapters for me with this prompt? Like I don't want that. But who knows what the future is really gonna hold, like where it's gonna go with AI. But another thing was, I saw the other day, this girl was she was young, she was like 19, was in a reader group, and she was saying about how all these authors are using AI, and they're like, how do you know? And she's like, these certain things. And somebody else was like, you do realize that they taught AI what it knows by reading romance novels? Like that's what they used. Like they scoured the internet. Like Meta got in trouble, and I think is or was being sued by a group of authors because they used their books without their permission. Like they didn't pay them for the use of their books, but they used it to train the AI. Sorry, Kippy, my note was falling. So like AI is coming into that sector. Like I don't dislike AI as an overall thing, but I don't want it to do the fun things for me. I want you to do things I don't want to do. Like I don't want all my artwork to be done by AI now. I want like a person to do it. And AI can do something else. I don't know. But I think like anything, it's gonna have lots of issues. Like it's gonna affect lots of things in lots of different ways. But it has already started to like move into the writing world. There are some books that are written entirely by AI and then sold on Amazon for like 99 cents, and it like no people took place in the writing of the book. Like and you can tell that it's AI because you're like, wow, that's bad. Or AI art where like the cover book has like 3 hands. Yeah, like yeah. Like I'm not saying don't use AI at all, but like as a bar, like okay, like this is my idea, but how do I like flush it out? Or how do I make it sound better?
Going down.
Okay. But oh, it's super tiny. I blew it up a little bit. It's tentacles. We love tentacles. You know, like AI is a great assistant tool. a tool to assist you, but I don't want something that's written completely by AI. Yeah, in my mats. I love these colors, teal and purple. But yeah, so I think it's gonna be like anything else. It's gonna like make this great wave into all kinds of sectors, and then everybody's gonna have to figure out how much or how little they want to use it, and how much or how little they're going to want others to use it. Like, you know, if all these books are written by AI, like it still needs to be fleshed out by a human in the end. But give or take, you read, don't read, watch, don't watch, create, don't create, with whatever things as much as you want or don't want. And I know this isn't like all talking about books in a way, it's like branching out into other things, but I don't know, it's all kind of reading, but yeah, I need to rearrange so that I will have more bookshelf space, because I'm going to wind up with like 40 books at this signing next month, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put them, but it's not going to stop me from buying them. And I call paperbacks shelf trophies. Welcome in, Ringbolt. Miss Madam is like, you would think she's dead laying on my desk on this heating blanket. Like, I don't think cats are supposed to go this deep into sleep. They're supposed to always be half awake. Welcome in, Ringbolt. I hope you've been doing well. Hope your streams have been going well. But yeah, so if anybody has any authors they want to talk about or books they like, we can talk about anything book related. I have no clue what I'm doing, if you guys can't tell. I don't. I made a Discord chat channel just for Book After Dark, so that if you guys wanted to get in there and chat versus typing, because sometimes, like the delay, or if there's a lot of chat happening, things can go back and forth and wonky. I know there's not a ton of people in here right now, so chat's easy to follow. But I do read just about anything except for Christian romance, because I don't understand that, and Amish romance, because again, I don't understand how that works. I don't read as much clean romance, but I do read a fair amount of young adult, and that's pretty clean. Some of it not so much, but most of it is pretty clean. Because you're never too old to read something. If you want to read picture books, read picture books. I don't care, as long as you're reading. Right, I like some YA books. Now my brain is gonna fart and I won't remember her name. She writes some YA, she writes some not YA. But she wrote the book Ugly, which I am not a crier, and that book made me cry, and then I gave it to my friend so she could snot all over the place, and I didn't tell her how sad it was. I was like, this book is called Ugly, you'll love it. So honestly, I was held back in first grade because they said I couldn't read. So they told my mom I needed to be held back. And the teacher I had the second year of first grade went back to them and was like, she can read. She just doesn't want to read what we're giving her. And so when reading time happened, she made me sit in the back of the classroom and let me read whatever I wanted. So I've always been a reader. It's not like it came in waves though. Like I would read a lot and then it would kind of die off for a couple years, and then I'd start up again and then it would kind of die off. As life happens, sometimes you have less time to read, sometimes you have more time to read. But it's really stuck, I guess, this time. I mean, I'm kind of reading less now than I was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but I started the streaming and that took up time that I was doing reading before. Like, so there's give and take. I'm still reading probably a lot compared to the average person, but it's kind of always been a thing. Let's see if I can find it in here this way. But one of the books, her books do have like a sad bent to them. Though this one was, Margaret McHauser. But she writes a sorry, apparently Kippy got on my keyboard, so now I gotta, there we go. She writes a YA one where the girl has cancer, right? Like, she finds out she has cancer, and so she's like preparing her boyfriend and her best friend and everybody for when she dies. And of course, she tells one to take care of the other and the other to take care of the first one, in an attempt to get them together after she dies. But a lot of her stuff has like a sad bent to it. But she's a fantastic author. Ugly is the one I first read by her. It's about a girl who's attacked, and as a result of the attack, she develops agoraphobia. And she's like petrified that her attackers are going to find her again. And her therapist comes and he's helping her, like, getting trying to get her back out into the world, right? And eventually she winds up falling for her therapist, which is, it's romance, right? Like, it doesn't have to be morally acceptable. I read a lot of things that I would not want in real life, but I am totally gung-ho for in the book. But this one too is kind of YA new adult. But they do wind up, finding her and attacking her. But she writes some mafia books too, and she writes a lot of stuff. Oh, you're awake now, Kippy? You gonna say hello? Look, you gonna say hello? You gonna say hello to the peoples? She's like, no, I'm tired. Put me back on the hot blanket. Right, well, you're the one who stood up. You gotta smell the pen. Make sure it's safe. But yeah, I've always been a reader. Like I said, it kind of came and went, but for like the last 10 years. Yeah, all the warm blankets. So I got a heated blanket when I went to Ollie to look for the craft supplies, so that I could stop using my space heater and like making crazy sick with how warm I would make it in the room to be comfortable. And so now all she does is want to come in and lay on the blanket. So I have to put like a little bit of the blanket like on my desk, and then she lays on like that spot. Or sometimes she'll sit like half on my lap and have just like her front paws, or the front half of her body on the desk. But then she'll get so warm and sleepy that she kind of starts to fall off the desk. And I think anybody who reads even a fair amount has run into over the years where an author is writing a series you really like, and they're like, and this book will be out next, and then that book never comes out. I swear I have books on my Goodreads, like to be read list, that are like 10 years old and the book has never come out. Yeah, like maybe I would like this book if I didn't have to read it for school. Like there's a great chance that I would love this book if I didn't have to read it for school, but because they're making me and I have to read it on their timeline, I don't want anything to do with it. But yeah, they told my mom that I had reading issues and that I shouldn't go on to the second grade. I should stay in first grade. So my mom said, "Well, you know better than I do." You know, and was like, "Fine, if you think that's what's best." And then the teacher was like, "No, she can read just fine. She just doesn't want to read what we want her to read. She's fine." But they're like, "We can't move her up. We've already held her back. It's too late." So, like, I didn't actually do anything that year. It was just dumb. The teacher just kept giving me second grade stuff anyway. Because she's like, "You fully know what you're doing and what is happening. You just aren't interested in what they're..." Yes, I have gone back and read it over and over because the book never came out. I was so mad. That, and also you're like reading a series and you're like, okay, the next one isn't due out for 6 months or whatever, and then you forget about it. And for the life of you, you can't remember what the series is called anymore. So you can't even go back and read it. I was reading a series. I think I read Welcome in, Mad Dog. Thank you for the biddies. Mad Dog loves the fucking goat. Hi. Hi. But I was reading a book about this girl. I would say she was 25 to 30. Welcome in. Thank you for the biddies. It's a fucking goat. And somehow she wound up going back in time. Kind of like Outlander, but not really. So like she went back in time to kind of the same time frame as Outlander, like, you know, with Highlanders and whatnot.
500 is $5.
But oh, there's an incoming hype train. Um oh, there's the hype train. Thank you, Mad Dog. Oh, he did release the Kraken. Release the Kraken. So I thank you, Crazy. Now we've all been rickrolled. That's Crazy's favorite. So she got mum. Oh.
Now get the hype train going.
Now you get the hype train going.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Now we're not gonna get anything done because they're gonna just keep. Not that I'm upset about it, but it's gonna not go anywhere.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Cheering the number of biddies.
So she was in that time frame for a while, and then she got to the point where she was like comfortable, and it was almost like she would go back and like essentially take over somebody else's body. Be warm, kitty, little ball of fire. Happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr, purr, purr. That's nippy. That's not purring. It was almost like she went into somebody's body because, like, to a point, she got like pregnant by the Highlander, and she was gonna like, this is my life. I'm gonna live it out. you know, this is my life now. And then all of a sudden she was in another time frame again, like a new one. And so like it went on like that where she kept just like she didn't know how it happened or why it happened or like how to stop it or how to make it happen sooner. But like that's how the series was going, and I cannot for the life of me remember what series it is now.
You killed my father.
Thank you for the gift sub to Mad Dog Crazy. Oh, have we made that? We did. We did level 1 hype train complete. Thank you guys for all the pities. Now you get the emotes and you don't have to listen to commercials. I can't even keep up. My Firebot is probably like, yep. Thank you, gentlemen, for all the bitties. Where's my sorting hat? Okay, and I finally fixed the sorting hat so that I can see when I wear it. And not just keep falling in my face. I think I'll put it over here. I picked it up the other day so that it wouldn't be on the ground. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I fixed it so that the brim is now kind of bendy so it stays up when I wear it.
Yes, it is.
Boop. Yeah, see? So it kind of...
A friend of hers gave it to her.
Boop, boop. So it doesn't just keep falling in my face. I put the craft wire in it, just like I did to make it stand up. Okay, we're the sorting hat and Snicky Snacky. So for Snicky Snackies, we have these Kit Kats. They're Japanese Kit Kats, 5 different flavors. We had milk tea and matcha. Yeah, we had milk tea and matcha so far. This one is orange chocolate, I believe. Yeah, orange chocolate. The milk tea was okay, but it had a little bit of like an aftertaste. The matcha was really good though. So, ooh, it smells really orangey, but not like artificial orangey.
Yeah, she's got like 15 of them.
You talk about my headbands? Sorry, kitty, I dripped on you. I don't know. It's got an orange taste for sure. Don't you want to smell it, Kippy? Sorry. My food tester has to smell it. Make sure I'm not getting poisoned. It must be fine. She didn't do the little smells like poo. Is it okay if I eat it? It's not poisoned? I don't know. It's like a supery orange taste. And a little like tang, like powdered sugar? Like powdered orange? Almost like pixie sticks, you know?
Vanilla Coke.
Oh, yeah, I have vanilla Coke for my drink. Kippy, that's my chapstick. You can't have it. But yeah, these were at this thing was at the commissary when I went like a month ago. And so I bought them to try. I don't know. I really liked the matcha one. I don't know about that one. I don't know how I feel about that.
You're a hairy lizard.
You see all the people, Kippies? Um, check mark the hydrate. I don't know anymore now. My brain is tired. Oh, the hype train ended. Let's see what we get. Hype train success. Let's see what we got in our chest. Open. Oh, she's got one of those little party blower things. Oh, we all got the same one. Usually, sometimes, I shouldn't say usually, sometimes you get different ones. But maybe that's because, like, you already have the one they gave it. I don't know. I guess it depends on how often you do participate in hype trains. But I want this. But I like it. She's like a party favor. I should put the camera on you, Kippy. You're very exciting. But yeah, so I read all kinds of things. If you want recommendations, or if you have a recommendation for the group, you know, an author you really like. I do tend to read a lot of like self-published authors or like smaller authors. And also things that go like huge on TikTok, I typically don't read. Or I don't read it while the hype is happening, I read it later. Boop boop. Here, we'll put kitty cam. Kitty cam. I get your bunny paw. We'll push you all the way up on the desk. Ooh, get your belly. What? This pen doesn't click shut anymore. We've opened it too many times, Kippy. But I have Demon Crawler Carl on my list to be read. But I have it stretch that paw out. Stretch those beans. We gotta sell your toe picks. But that's a physical copy, so you know, have to read it when there's light on, not at night when I should be sleeping. And I'm probably halfway through with the book I'm currently reading, so I gotta decide if I'm gonna go back and read more of the Monsters of Fairy series or if I'm gonna read something else. Last time I went through and like it had like a list of the books we talked about and stuff, and then I put them in Discord. We didn't really, I don't know, do enough today to do something like that, but yeah, I did make a voice chat. So going forward, would you like we could vote on a genre and then talk about kind of about books in that genre? Or do you want to keep it kind of general? I mean, next time we can also look at the books that I got at the book signing, because it'll be, I don't know, a couple weeks after the book signing.
Technically, you don't need a Twitch account. You only need a Twitch account to interact.
It's on the 21st. So yeah, it'll be like 2-ish weeks after the book signing will be another Book After Dark, so we can look at the books I buy then. The beginning. Well, no, I'm thinking it's in the beginning. It'll actually be the Monday, because I was doing it the third Monday. So we can push next month's back a week, and it'll be like 2 days after the book signing. We can do that, or we can do it like right before the book signing. But I might push it back so that it's like the Monday after the book signing, and then we can look at all the stuff I got. I always pick up like a bunch of different swag. Maybe I can pick up extra swag, like, because a lot of the swag is usually free on the table, like bookmarks and pens and chapsticks and stuff. Maybe I can pick up some extra, and we can have some giveaways during the Book After Dark. Thank you, Omen. So what happened with the biddies is I had done a couple videos, sound effects for the biddies, and then I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of didn't do anymore. And so one day they were like, "Oh, there is the goat." And so I was like, "Fine, donate something, and if I don't have a sound effect clip video, whatever for it, then you can pick what the thing is." So that's how we wound up with some of the stuff. I think that's how we wound up with bacon pancakes. Mac Builds donated, and he's like, "I don't know," and I was like, "Well, there's the bird who does bacon pancakes. Make him bacon pancakes." And so I think that's how we wound up with that. Let me check my events bits. I think that's how, because I made the Release the Kraken one, and then I think Mac Builds donated, and I was like, I don't have one for that, and so we wound up with bacon pancakes, which is.
I don't see bacon pancakes on there.
Now we have Release the Kraken and bacon pancakes. So if you donate biddies at an amount I don't have something for, you get to decide within reason what the video, sound effect, whatever is. That's how we wound up with some of them. I just love that little girl. It's a goat. It's a fucking goat. No, it's just a goat. No, it's a fucking goat. And then you look at it, it's a goat. Oh, you gonna try to get the mouse? So Kippy loves the little pointer on the computer screen. And if she's on your desk, she will try to get it. She's gonna pounce and get it. Only she doesn't get on the desk.
You can't try it a second time. You've already tried it once.
Come here. I don't need you jumping at my computer screen. Here. Right here. She's got her mad thumper tail going and everything. I'm gonna get it. She's gonna get it. I guess I need to make like book related redeems. But we may do the art kind of stuff tomorrow after the build portion. Like come up with things we can put on like t-shirts or bookmarks or stickers or whatever. Kevin recommended, he told me I'm missing merchandise that I need to make bookmarks. So I have kind of like looked up online how much they would be to get made and things like that. And now my social media is flooded with people who are like, you want to make a bookmark? Or you want stickers? Here's 100 for $19. So like that's all, like every ad is based on that now. You can't have the computer screen. Don't scratch it. There you go. Be a good kitty. Play here on the desk. Like, you guys don't need to see me. You just need to see the Kippy. This is Noodles.
How much did you mine today?
She's a Madam of the Night.
How much did you mine today?
She has many names. Nudes is one, short for Noodle.
Maddie.
And I tease Fantasy all the time that if anybody asks for nudes, she should just send them a picture of Noodles. Or that we should make an OnlyFans and call it Nudes, but you know, NOODS. And once they get behind the paywall, it's just pictures of Kippy. Do you think we could make money that way? Just selling pictures of the cat? Videos of her being silly?
Maddie, how much did you mine today? Why is my microphone not working? Hello? Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Maddie, how much did you mine today?
She likes to chew on everything.
How much did you mine today?
Yeah, she gets after everything. Did you get your tooth stuck? You rub your face on it? Rub your face? What? You're the one who got your murder mittens out. Maybe this is how we do book talk from now on. We just have Kippy on the desk, distracting us. What you got your murder mittens out for? Yes, so I'll put out a poll in the Discord if you guys want to keep having like open chat like this, or if you prefer like we narrow it down to like supernatural, which is still a lot to talk about, or like mafia or whatever. Or, you know, keep it open. Like I said, next month I think I'm gonna push it back 1 week, and it'll be right after the book signing, and we can look at the books I buy. There'll be too many. Did the pen make you mad? What did it do? But yeah, that's how we'll like. And like I said, I did make a voice chat if you guys want to get in there. Like, it's not going to be shown on stream at all. Just, they'll be able to hear you talking. I didn't want to do like a traditional book club because I myself wind up then not reading the book. Even if I like voted for it, I'm like, nah. I don't like to be told what to do. I probably won't read it now. Or I'll read it super fast in like the first 3 days after it's picked, and then I won't remember it by the time next month happens. Those are basically the only two options that my brain allows. So I didn't want to do like a traditional book club where we all read the same. Plus, you know, you can't always borrow the book from the library. So I didn't want anybody to have to spend money. Hey, that stuff isn't for you, madam. So I wanted to do something more where we all just fluidly talk about books we like or book related things. So, I mean, I hope you guys are enjoying this. We did a little bit more actual talking about books last time. I kind of just went through my Goodreads and like talked about different authors I liked and what they did, and there were other people who joined in and talked about books they liked. I talked about how I hate that they call them reverse harems because it's still just a harem. But somehow, because it's one girl and three guys, it has to be called a reverse harem. Brother husbands instead of sister wives. And you pretty much don't have to be worried that what you share that you like is like too disturbed. I read weird stuff. I've yet to read a book where I've gone, oh, that is too much for me, and put it down. So you're safe. I read back and forth. Like, I got a new Kindle or a new Nook e-tablet, and I wanted to start like spending my money there on books instead of Amazon. And then the first series I wanted to start reading, Barnes & Nobles didn't carry. And that is to some degree, I think, like, well, I know that if they're part of Kindle Unlimited, they can't have their books anywhere else, like any books anywhere else. Like, beyond selling them on their own website. So that may be the case with that one, that she was part of Kindle Unlimited, so she couldn't have her books there. I don't dislike the idea of Kindle Unlimited. I dislike Amazon when it comes to authors. So I do try to spend my money on books other places than Amazon. But sometimes the budget demands Amazon be the place I spend my money. Because, you know, we all have a budget. So. And there was issues, like, when Kindle Unlimited started, it was a pot of money, right? And then, anytime a book was borrowed, an author got a set amount of money. And then after people like myself who can easily read 30 books in a month, started using Kindle Unlimited, they realized that they couldn't keep that up. Like, there wasn't enough money going into the pot compared to going out of the pot. So they changed it to the number of pages read, which sounds like not that bad of a deal, because if you write longer books, you're going to get more money. Except for the fact that they then made the books open on chapter 1. And so you don't have from like the front cover to the start of chapter 1, none of those pages counted. And at the end of the book, if you've read on a Kindle e-reader, you get to like the end of the book, and that about the book section pops back up. And it's like, do you want to read book 2 or other books that people bought who also bought this book? Here, do you want to try one of those? So if you don't keep going till the end of the book, they don't get paid for those pages either. And then they had this, like what they called flip book, where you could like flop back and forth. It made them lose count of the pages, so the others just didn't get paid at all. They've gone back and fixed certain things of that, but it was a problem for quite a while, where like authors just weren't getting paid because they would lose count of how many pages in that book the person read, because they used some kind of feature on the e-reader. So I always tell people, like, if you use Kindle Unlimited, make sure you go back to the cover of the book and page through every single page, because otherwise they're not getting paid for those pages. And it's a little like streaming music. It's like so little per page. And even when people buy books, Amazon has no like return conditions. So like they could read the entire, like have the book for 2 months, read the entire book and still return it and get all their money back. And then the author is like told by Amazon, well, now you owe us money because somebody returned the book. So like Steam knows how long you've played in the game. I know they know how many pages you've read into that book. Like, I think after you've either had it so long or you've read so far into the book, you shouldn't be able to return it. Like, Cindy, the book is 500 pages. You don't need to read all 500 to know whether you like it or not. Maybe to know if you're going to read the next book in the series, but not if you're going to continue to read this book or not. But that's a personal soapbox hill I will die on. So I wanted to start shifting my money to like Barnes and Nobles, but Kobo, Kobo, is another place you can get ebooks, and they have something similar to Kindle Unlimited. It's slightly cheaper. Also, no limits to like how many books you can do a month. I think there's a limit like how many at a time, but not how many you can do in a month total. And they do not require their authors to not sell their books anywhere else. So they're not like confined to only selling their books on Kobo. Like an Amazon author can't have their books anywhere else if they are a part of the Kindle Unlimited program. So I wholeheartedly say go to Kobo and give them your money. But if you don't know, Amazon also owns Goodreads and the audiobook Audible. They own Audible. So Amazon gets your money one way or another. They own a lot of things that like some people don't know they own. But there's other ways to get audiobooks besides Audible. But also there's like 3 or 4 different programs, like apps that you can download or like go to the website and sign up for that your library card works as a membership. So because you have a library card, you type in your library card number, and then audiobooks or ebooks that your library has as part of their system, you can borrow on your e-reader or your phone, whatever. And you don't have to pay anything. So they are very good. I will put them in the book channel. Because of course now that I'm talking about them, my brain doesn't want to remember what they're called. I have bookmarks with their names on them too, though. What is it? No, do not bite me. For using my own keyboard, Kippy. You stay here, and I'll... Hey, you're being snazzy. Fine, you know what? Ha, I'll use my other one. Book. Did it die because I accidentally left it on? Or did I turn it off on the thing? Oh, nope, it's on. Oh, there we go. I just had to wake it up.
Oh, being sassy kitty.
Yeah, she is being a sassy kippy.
Do you need to come out of here?
I think I left it. Oh, there we go. I was not in the right.
Are you gonna be a good kitty and stay here, or do you need to come every time you leave?
Book apps that work with your life. Libby is one. The Libby app. Hoopla. So Libby is by Overdrive. They do ebooks and audiobooks. Hoopla, Cloud Library, they're all free apps. And all you need is your local to belong to your local library. So you get on there, you put in, your name, your email, and then you give them your library card number. And because your local library has ebooks and audiobooks that you can download through them, but this works with it, and so then you can use it to get audiobooks and ebooks. So Hoopla Digital allows for instant streaming of downloading of audiobooks, ebooks, movies, and music without waiting. It says borrow up to about 10 titles per month. So it is limited, but, the average person probably doesn't read a ton or, watch a ton. Beanstack is, we've belonged to several different libraries that have used Beanstack to do like their summer reading program. So it'll keep track of like how many minutes or books you read, however the library sets it up. And then you can win prizes from your local library. Flipster does digital magazine service. Kanopy with a K, like Kanopy, is a streaming app that works with your library account for movies, documentaries, and TV shows. I have used I used Overdrive, and then it became Libby, or Libby became another part of it. And I like it. Sometimes the book or whatever you want, there's like a waiting list, but that's because the library only has 2 or 3 copies to lend out. So you have to wait till somebody returns their copy before you can borrow it, which is just like the regular library. That's the only one I've really used for ebooks. I haven't done it for audiobooks because, like I said, I don't really do audiobooks because I will stop listening and then forget what I would like. Oh crap, I wasn't paying attention. So, but I used it as Overdrive before it became Libby, and then again after it became Libby. So, and it's a free app. You get it on your phone, your tablet, whatever. Excuse me, madam. Nope, you can't have that. That's not for you. So, even if it's hard to get to your local library on a regular basis, you should still sign up and get a library card so that you can use it with apps like this. I wholeheartedly support the library system. Look. Oh, give me a second. I'll get you your blanket back. Want the hot blanket? Here you go. Yeah, it's turning on. Here, hot blanket. Yep, you know what this is. Hot blanket. Hot blanket. I think we're gonna find somebody to raid into because I don't want you guys to have ads and then, raid out after the ads. So let's find somebody to raid into. Yesterday we raided into somebody new, so today we can go to somebody we know. Would you prefer to go into somebody who's doing like book related things, or does it not matter? I'm not sure we really have many people on my list that I'm actively following that are like do book related content. We can go into Mac builds though. He's on. How long has he been on? I don't know how much longer he's gonna be on, but that's okay. We'll still go into him. I got too many windows open here. So I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow during my normal time doing my brick building. Ugh. Ooh. Sorry. That hat was making me hot. And maybe the second half we'll do the art. If not, we'll do something else. Excuse me, madam. Here, hot blanket. Let's do a shout out for Mac Builds. And then Raid for Mac. I'm trying to flip around his name. There we go.